want to hand grab another one of these because I mean it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't do very well at 5 o'clock in the morning. So let's get to this. Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. Today I am super excited to be reviewing the Goss anniversary set number 2. Package came in the mail the other day and I have been desperately waiting to open this up, but I wanted to do it on camera, so let's get into it. Gracefulness is not my talent at all. Lord. Okay, come on now. We're just gonna throw that away. So it comes in this beautiful packaging, I guess. It's really just a bunch of cardboard wrapped around some paper. I mean, let's just be real with it. That's what it is. I'm just gonna throw that over there too. So now we have the lovely Goss, the anniversary set, volume 2. Comes with a neat little label and more paper. Here are the brushes. Say I'm a lot, so you'll just have to excuse me. I'm sorry. It's a character flaw. I'm so half asleep. I rarely drink Red Bull, but Mama needs her juice this morning. Seriously, it took everything in me to order these brushes because they retail for $241 on beautylish.com. It's the only place that you can purchase them. But Goss is pretty much my idol, so what do? You buy the brushes. But to save you some of the hassle, I'm going to review them and let you know what I think about them and let you know if it's worth the money. It includes 8 brushes. 7 of them are natural animal hair brushes. I believe they are goat, and the push liner brush is synthetic. But the good thing about it is they're all designed for creams, powders, anything that you want to use on your face. These brushes will be able to do it. I believe that is the difference from the original set. So we're going to jump into it. Inside, there are 8 handcrafted brushes from Japan. Oh, they're beautiful already. The claim is that you can do an entire face of makeup with all 8 of these brushes. For me, I think that's going to be a challenge. I'm very skeptical, but I can't wait to see how they perform. Reading reviews, I've heard nothing but good things about Goss brushes, and honestly, he's my idol, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be great. As far as a makeup look today, I am going to go for a more simple look just because I'm used to my brushes. I do have to go to school today, and I'm not actually used to doing foundation with a brush. I'm used to a beauty blender type sponge. We're just going to get into this. The first brush that I'm going to be going in with is brush number 1. It is a duo fiber flat foundation brush. It's supposed to be for quick application. I did watch the video that Wayne put out about his brushes, and he said that if you have more dry sensitive skin, it's best to kind of stipple on the foundation. And if you have oily or normal skin, it's good to kind of buff it in. So we're gonna go and try this. I actually have very oily skin, so I am going to try the buffing action, but I feel like I'm gonna end up using the stipple action because I like full coverage, and I don't know if buffing is actually going to give me full coverage, but we're gonna try it out. I'm gonna go in and prime my skin with the Dior Forever and Ever Wear Primer. So now that my face is primed, please ignore this horrible zit. I charcoaled my face last night trying to get it to go away by this morning, and it didn't happen. So next I'm going to go in with the Dior Forever Undercover 24-Hour Full Coverage Foundation, and I am shade 10 because I'm pretty pale. I am going to put this on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to kind of dot it all over my face. So it says to use a buffing action. And one thing I did want to mention, which so far I haven't noticed it yet, but because this is a natural hair brush, you will tend to get more shedding the first couple of uses. Now, if you get a whole bunch of shedding every time you use it and you've had it for a while, that could be an issue. But with any normal natural hair brush, you are going to get some shedding the first couple of times that you use it. So just be aware of that. But so far, I don't see any shedding. Okay, I'm gonna try and stipple on this side of my face and just see how that applies. Because this side looks very nice and smooth, but it's not as full coverage as what I would typically wear. I only had about 2 hairs come out, and that was one little dot. Normally I have to squeeze this about 3 to 4 times with a beauty blender type sponge whenever I apply it, and for one squeeze it covered pretty nice on my face. This is what the brush looks like. It absorbed a little bit of product, but nothing bad. And I'm going to go back with a little bit more just to see if this brush will allow me to build up some of the coverage. So overall there was a little bit of shedding, but I used way less product and the coverage is beautiful. And it actually, normally I have to use powder before my foundation will ever set, but this seemed to set without even having to use a powder. I'm still going to go in with a powder just because that's how I am. I'm kind of impressed. I will say that once the foundation gets on this brush, it becomes not as soft. Like you can, I mean, it's still very soft, but you can feel the bristles a little bit more. Next, I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape in Fair Neutral. I'm just using this concealer because it's the same concealer I use every day, and I'm trying to use products that I know I like. It's going to be very different though, setting this with a brush instead of a sponge. But based on the way that the foundation did, I'm going to use a whole lot less than what I normally do because I'm afraid a little bit's going to go a long way this time. A little cross because concealer is basically sent from God. It's his gift to us. Stuff's amazing. Because this seems to set my makeup a little bit better or help my makeup set faster than with a beauty blender, I feel like it almost kind of made my under eye look a little dry with this concealer. And I felt like it doesn't cover as well as whenever I use a beauty sponge. So I'm going to apply a little bit more, which I did use a whole lot less than what I normally do. But I'm going to try and apply a little bit more and see how it does. I applied a little bit more and it definitely looks better. I will say this eye wasn't really an issue, but the inner corner of this eye, it was kind of difficult to get to with this brush. So one of the other brushes might be better getting into that inner corner, but I mean, I would still rather use them for eyeshadow or powder or something, so I would not want to be getting concealer on it. So that's kind of an issue. Not a huge issue. I mean, if you work around, you're eventually able to get it, but it's just a little bit more difficult. It doesn't have that very sharp point that you can get right into that inner corner like a beauty sponge does. But as far as brush, I mean, I'm really happy with my foundation. I think it looks beautiful. I think it looks natural. The next brush I'm going in with is brush number 2. It's basically a sculpting highlighter, bronzer, contour, blush brush. I also saw in Wayne's video that this can be used as a powder brush, so I am going to use this to set my face, and I'm going to be using the Lancome Absolute Powder in the color Absolute Peach. Oh, this brush is so soft. This is actually working out really nice to set underneath my under eye. I actually normally use a damp beauty blender for this as well, and I kind of push the product into my skin, but I really like the way that this is doing, and I'm just lightly tapping the powder over my foundation to set it. Next, I'm going in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light contouring palette to do my contour. And I'm still using brush number 2. And I barely picked up anything on this brush at all, and it's pretty phenomenal. Typically, whenever I do contour or bronzer or blush, I use a very big fluffy brush. So using something this small is taking a little bit to get used to, but the more pressure that you use, the more the brush will kind of fan out. Like you can see, if you barely use any pressure, you can kind of get detailed work, but if you mash down harder, you can get a little bit more pressure or a little bit more surface area. So that's taking a little bit to get used to, but it's working. I will say with this brush, and you can see how it's kind of fluffed up a little bit. Typically whenever I do contour and bronzer around my hairline, no matter how much I blend, I get a very distinct line about right here, and this did not give me that line at all. It kept it very soft, very natural. Now, since I'm using the same brush for multiple purposes, I am going to be using the Sephora Color Switch. So now I'm going to go in with the Sweet Peach Glow palette, and I'm going to use that center color for my blush. Okay, I thought I would not like this brush for blush, but it actually made the application so precise. I'm surprised that I really like this. I like a very blinding highlight, probably a little bit too much highlight sometimes. So I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Sun Dipped Glow Kit, and I'm gonna go into the color, I'm gonna go with Summer, which is kind of this gold color. That highlights in color. I'm impressed because that's without having to use any of the MAC Fix Plus, which I normally use for my highlighter, so I'm actually really happy. I am going to jump off camera and do my eyebrows just because there's really not any of these brushes that I would even use for my eyebrows, and I just use a simple, I use the Anastasia Brow Wiz in taupe, so it's nothing really special. So I will come back and do my eyeshadow as soon as I get my brows done. Going forward, I'm going to be using brushes 3 through 8 to do my eyes. One neat thing about these brushes is that they are designed to be used on hooded eyes, which I do have. The thing is, if you can use them on hooded eyes, then you can use them on any type of eyes. It's just hooded eyes are the most, I don't want to say the most difficult to work with, but they require a little bit of special attention and methods, and it's just not as easy or quick as some other eye shapes. So I'm really excited about these brushes going forward. I'm going to start with number 3. 3 is a bigger kind of fluffy brush that you'll use in the crease. I'll let you see it next to 4. 4 is for a little bit more precise work in the crease, and 3 is kind of for overall blending. So I'm going to go in with my MAC palette. This is actually just a palette of some of my favorite colors from MAC. It's not a specific palette, but I just absolutely love these colors. They work perfect for my eyes. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but I started in my crease and worked my way up, and it deposited the color right here in my crease and softly blended it up towards my eye, which is, I mean, the blend's gorgeous. I'm really excited. So far, our brush number 4 has done amazing at blending from the crease up. Now I'm going to go in with brush number 3 and build more into the crease to kind of give it a little bit of depth. I don't know if this is coming across on camera, but this brush is perfect for setting up your eye to do a cut crease. That just made the best line in my crease for starting off a cut crease. Let's see if it blends out pretty good though. It's a little hard to kind of blend out the crease with the number 4 brush if just doing the windshield wiper motions, but if I do little circles, it's blending it out and softening it up and making it absolutely beautiful. And then I'm going to go back with the number 3 brush just to kind of soften up all of it and make sure that it blends. I'm going to go in with the number 6 brush. It's kind of a fluffy dome-shaped brush, and I'm going to kind of put a darker color in my outer corner and blend it out. And eventually I'm going to go back in with brush number 5. I don't know if you can see that, but the number 6 brush just applied color to my outer corner. So nice. Now we'll go ahead and say these shadows from MAC are great about not really having a whole lot of fallout, but these brushes, I'm having 0 fallout. Normally I have a tiny bit, but I'm getting no fallout from these, and it's amazing. Now I'm going to be going in with brush number 7. It's a flat brush. I've seen this brush called like a cream eyeshadow brush, or I've seen it called a concealer brush, but it's very flat, and it's just the kind of brush that I would use personally to pack on a lot of color onto my eyelid. So I'm going to go in with a lighter color. That brush definitely packed a lot of color with very minimal effort. Now I'm going to go finally back in with brush number 5. It's more of a pencil type brush, probably used for very fine detail work. And I'm just going to put a highlight in my inner corner. Now I'm going to take brush number 5 and I'm going to do a lower lash line. Lastly, I'm going to go in with brush number 8. This is the push liner brush. I'm actually going to use it to line the bottom of my lash line with a darker color. I used the pencil brush to kind of soften my lower lash line. Now I'm going to go back on a little bit darker color with this, closer to the lash line. And this is the only synthetic brush out of the collection. It's actually very nice and firm, and it's perfect for exactly what it says it does for pushing eyeshadow into the lash line. It's phenomenal. Like I said, I'm not really going for a crazy look or anything like that. I'm trying to do something very simple just to go to school with. I'm going to finish up my eyeliner and my mascara, and then I'll get into a little bit of the care instructions and just kind of give you my final thoughts on the brushes. Alright, my makeup is done. I still have to go fix my hair and obviously get dressed because I don't think I can get away with wearing my long johns. Yes, I am filming on long johns to school. But I did kind of want to touch on a few things. This little card comes in the package. It's how to care for your brushes. They are handmade. You do need to be very gentle with them. As far as daily cleaning goes, you basically just wipe the brush gently on a tissue and just kind of get any powder or anything off. As far as, you know, deep cleaning, washing them, you're going to dip the brush down in some lukewarm water and then just brush it back and forth on a tissue, and then make sure that you hang dry it. I'm very impressed with these brushes. They are so soft. I had very minimal hair fallout. I think I maybe total had 5 or 6 stray hairs that came out of it, but that's expected because it is a natural hairbrush. If I could make one change to this, and it is only one change, I would add a 9th brush. Whenever I do my contour, like I said, I like a big fluffy brush. And granted, brush number 2 worked phenomenal. I think my skin makeup is blended some of the best that it has ever been done. I think that my skin looks airbrushed right now, but I still want that fluffy brush. So I'm probably going to end up ordering a fluffy brush from Goss to go in to add to this collection. But that would be my only change. As far as everything else, I love the way that my skin looks right now. I think my makeup is incredible. I'm highly impressed. I didn't want to say that though for this amount of money, but they're phenomenal brushes. It's worth the investment. They're going to last you a very long time. And you know, if you do decide to buy them, I hope you love them as much as I love these because they're incredible. So this gets 2 thumbs up for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and let me know down below in the comments if you have any feedback or if you want to see any other kind of videos from me. I am trying to get more regular with my uploading schedule, but I mean, life happens. But I will try to be more consistent, and anything that you would like to see me try, please leave it down below. I would love to give you my thoughts on it. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye. The set comes with 8 natural animal hair brushes. Hey.